Well, for more on our top story this hour, but coming out of Afghanistan, where at least 17 civilians have been killed after American soldiers opened fire on them. We're joined now by Mr. Abdul Hamid Noorzad, who is an Afghan journalist, joining us from the Afghan capital, Kabul. Mr. Noorzad, thank you very much for joining us here on PressTV. Now, I wanted to ask you if there is, in a sense, in the minds of Afghan people, the idea that, according to U.S.-led forces, an Afghan life is worth less than that of an American life or a British life, considering the fact that every time we hear such stories, they always say there will be an investigation, but nothing really ever happens.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, we heard a very bad news from southern country in Kandahar province that this morning an American soldier opened fire on Afghan civilian that killed at least 17 people. Unfortunately, these kind of incidents, one is intentionally that the coalition forces claim that they sometimes kill innocent people during the anti-terror operation in Afghanistan, but this time it was not unintentionally. Unfortunately, it was an intentionally incident that again hurt the mind and the heart of Afghan people. For every incident we hear in Afghanistan, hear that the coalition forces or the NATO forces claim that they are doing some investigation, but never again the result of such an incident was brought to Afghan people. I believe that this kind of action does not have any place in Afghanistan. And one side, the American forces and coalition forces claim that they came here to protect Afghan people, but unfortunately this incident showed that the American forces do not take care of the lives of Afghan people. I believe that it's against the international laws, and those people that and those soldiers that they are behind these kind of attack, they must brought to justice and they must be kept accountable. That's on one side, because the Afghan government want to sign a deal with US, but unfortunately this kind of incident would have a direct negative impact for such a cooperation, because we saw that the recent incident of burning Quran inside Afghanistan, it was motivated the excitement of Afghan people, and again it's another kind such a disrespect to the life of Afghan people and to the culture of Afghan people and to the Islamic issues of Muslims.
So, Mr. Noorzad, are you confident that at any time either American soldiers or other soldiers, US-led soldiers, will ever be held accountable, realistically speaking?
Yes, unfortunately, it's not the first incident that took place in Afghanistan. Before, such an action was also done by the coalition forces in Afghanistan. And that kind of accident, the NATO commanders claimed that it was unintentionally incident. But in this incident, it's a direct threat to the life of Afghan people, and the American soldier directly opened fire on Afghan civilian, that there was not an enemy suspected and other issues. For such a thing, I believe that the Afghan people wants the American to bring to justice those soldiers that directly opened fire on Afghan civilian. But unfortunately, so far, actually the American forces promised many times that they would investigate on these kind of accidents, but unfortunately it didn't have any result. I believe that in this time, if the American do not keep accountable these soldiers, it would have a negative impact on the two countries' cooperation on war against terror. Because this incident took place in Kandahar province, that before it was the central part of Taliban regime. I believe that if the Americans do not take any concrete action on this, it would motivate more people to join enemy and to attack on the American forces and NATO forces in Afghanistan.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for now. That was Mr. Abdul Hamid Noorzad, Afghan journalist, joining us from the capital, Kabul. Mr. Noorzad, thank you very much for your insight here on Press TV.